So Vanity Fair, with what turned into a huge hit piece on the White House today, and the chief of staff, Susie Wiles, who normally avoids the media, she gave the magazine unusual access over the last year. And Vanity Fair accuses her of saying that Donald Trump has an alcoholic's personality, which the president has actually agreed with in the past, even though he does not drink. She called J.D. Vance a conspiracy theorist and said that Pam Bondi completely whiffed on the Epstein files. Wiles responded to the report, calling it a disingenuously framed hit piece. Joining us now for more on all this, Turning Point USA contributor and former Naval Intel officer Jack Posobiec, former special assistant to the president and former press secretary to First Lady Jill Biden, Michael LaRosa, and former speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, T.W. Shannon. Great to have you all on tonight. T.W., it's like Vanity Fair is trying to create this fake narrative about the Trump White House. None of it true, all of it really out of context. But even if it is true, it's like not that bad. Donald Trump even responded today saying Wiles is fantastic. She meant that. I don't drink alcohol, but I've often said that if I did, I'd have a very good chance of being an alcoholic. I have said that many times about myself. Is this all the left is today, TW? Just fake narrative after fake narrative trying to drive the right apart?
100%, Rob. I mean, first of all, listen, not only is Susie Wiles the best chief of staff Donald Trump's ever had, she is arguably the best chief of staff in the history of chief of staffs. We've had 50 of them in the last few years. And let's be clear, she is the only woman, and that is driving the left nuts because it doesn't fit their narrative about who Republicans are. The reality is this White House has run with trains on time every single time. And if you doubt Susie Wiles and her capabilities, just look at the agenda. There's a reason our borders are secure. There's a reason we're signing peace deals across the world. There's a reason our economy is booming. It's because of Donald Trump's vision and his agenda. But Susie Wiles doesn't have a Susie Wiles agenda. She has a America First agenda, and that's why the country's been so successful. So this is nothing but a hit piece, and it is fake news.
Michael, J.D. Vance today essentially said the same thing, pouring cold water on this whole thing. Take a look.
Conspiracy theorist. Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true. Susie and I have joked in private and in public about that. I believed in the crazy conspiracy theory back in 2020 that it was stupid to mask 3-year-olds at the height of the COVID pandemic. I believed in this crazy conspiracy theory that the media and the government were covering up the fact that Joe Biden was clearly unable to do the job. And I believed in the conspiracy theory that Joe Biden was trying to throw his political opponents in jail rather than win an argument against his political opponents. So, at least on some of these conspiracy theories, it turns out that a conspiracy theory is just something that was true 6 months before the media admitted it.
Okay, so Chris Whipple wrote this piece, Michael. What do you think he accomplished by doing this? Anything?
Well, first of all, I want to say it's impressive that Susie gave that level of access to Chris Whipple. And it's something that I admire that because she's clearly not afraid to talk about the things that she's clearly proud of the agenda the president has and everything that they're doing. And Rob Finnerty could never get an interview like that in a Biden White House. Let's just put it that way. And I think I admire
we tried.
that.
That's true. We tried. I contacted you and you never got back to me.
That's not
we
true.
tried.
I admire the fact that they go to unfriendly outlets or that they give unfriendly outlets as much access as others. And I think that, look, these stories can always go one of two ways. It can spark back like knife fighting and backstabbing, or it can circle the wagons. And I've never seen such a wholesale executive branch wide response to an article before. And it just seemed to activate and consolidate even more loyalty around her.
I totally agree. Yeah,
I think that's really impressive.
No, they circled the wagons today efficiently. And Jack, I want to move on, but I just remember when Vanity Fair did that foot massage of a piece on Karine Jean-Pierre, and they took this photo of Karine. I mean, she was just. I mean, I think objectively one of the worst press secretaries we've had, maybe ever. Certainly in the last 25 years, and they made her out to be a rock star. And the photos they used today to portray J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and Caroline Leavitt were just like the worst photos of them ever. I don't understand why Republicans continue to do interviews with left-leaning outlets like The Atlantic and Vanity Fair and Maggie Haberman at the New York Times and expect a different result. Why do they do this, Jack? Stop doing this.
Yeah, look, I think there's this strategy that perhaps if you give the access, it'll make it look like you're not scared of these narratives. It'll make it look like you're not scared of answering tough questions. But at the same time, ultimately, what ends up happening is things get misconstrued, inside jokes get turned into personal attacks. And again, you see those photographs. There's Peter Duke, the photographer, has a great line. He says, every photograph is a lie. And what that means is that every photographer and every editor can make a subject look however they want, depending on what they do with the camera, with lighting, etc. And look, we've got an incredible ecosystem of independent media now. And I love the fact that they are embracing new media so much at the White House. But yes, you do still see the legacy guys getting in there.
Yes. Jack, also, this, the tragic murder of Rob Reiner, his son, 32 years old, Nick, has been arrested. Again, a total tragedy. Donald Trump with a post on Truth Social that I'm not going to read just in the interest of time, but it got a lot of attention yesterday. It was criticized widely on the left, which is predictable, but also on the right. And your tweet caught my attention. And you were one of the first. You said Rob Reiner called Trump for Donald Trump to be jailed over his lies. I'm not surprised Trump said what he said. This bothered so many people, Jack. Why didn't it bother you?
Well, I think for two reasons. Number one, because Donald Trump has been Donald Trump in public for 40 years at this point. For the last 10 years, we know that Trump is always a counterpuncher. He's someone that if someone comes at him and attacks him, he's going to return in kind. Rob Reiner had joined an organization, worked with John Brennan and James Clapper to spread the Russiagate conspiracy theory. We were just talking about conspiracy theories, and tried to put Trump and his family in jail. So, no, it doesn't surprise me that he would counterpunch over. He said it was sad that it happened. I think that's true, but he also didn't mince words. And at the same time, look, we're not going to go back to the old Republican Party of Paul Ryan and apologize
that's
first.
Exactly
it doesn't
right.
work.
Rob, I got to get in here. I mean, the truth is, Donald Trump does not play by Hollywood's rules, and he's shown that time and time again. He's who he said he is. He was very clear about what MAGA is, but he was also clear about Trump derangement syndrome. It's real. It exists out there, and God rest Rob Reiner's soul. But ultimately, Donald Trump was talking about the Trump derangement syndrome that has permeated the left, and that was just another example. But he doesn't play by Hollywood's rules.
No, Michael, I can see those eyes wandering. I take it you disagree?
No, I think, well, look, Trump is who he is, and I don't think it was surprising to hear from him, but I also think he's really good at reading the pulse of the American people when it comes to culture. And I think what's surprising here is that so many on the right have reacted the way they have on other conservative networks or whatever online, because Rob Reiner was such a part of the fabric of American culture, from Archie Bunker to whatever. And I think he may have gone a little too far on this one, because he's misreading sort of a cultural aspect to what Rob Reiner was.
Rob Reiner, by the way, directed When Harry Met Sally, and his mother, it was Rob Reiner's mother who delivered this line. Not a lot of people know this. So it's the Meg Ryan orgasm scene at the diner with Billy Crystal, and it was Rob Reiner's mother who says, deadpan, I'll have what she's having. I think probably the most famous line in a Reiner film, or You Can't Handle the Truth. A Few Good Men, also a Rob Reiner.
Rob, we're all
movie.
too young to remember those quotes. I'm sorry,
well,
sir.
TW,
we're too young.
I really do think there's an age gap here on a lot of this. I do.
There
For
probably
folks who are
could be.
younger, they just remember Rob Reiner's politics.
Meathead.
That's all they remember.
Archie Bunker, definitely MAGA. Definitely a Trump voter, Michael.
I've never seen an episode of Archie
Jack
Bunker.
Posobiec, Michael LaRosa. You should, Jack. You would enjoy it, by the way. All in the family.
People say
good
that,
show.
but I've never seen it.
Very good show.
And the
TW
Jeffersons
Shannon.
were a
We'll do it
spinoff.
again.
All liberals.
Big Seinfeld guy.
Gentlemen, we got to leave it. We got to leave it there. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.